Team, welcome back to the Process Podcast. Today I'm sitting down with Isabel and Michelle O'Brien. And listen, for someone who's about to become a dad, this episode was pretty damn fascinating for me. Michelle, she is a head honcho at Asphodel Fit and she runs an amazing CrossFit Kids program there. And this episode is talking all about that. You know, is strength training okay for kids? What should we be doing at different ages and different stages of their development? How do you bring the most out of children through sport and exercise? You guys are going to love this one. Hello, Brian. Welcome to the Process Podcast.
Thanks for having me.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Very happy to be here.
Yeah, why? Why are you happy to be here? Tell
because
us.
I'm about to talk about something that I'm really passionate about.
Izzy, you are joining us on the podcast today. We rarely do, a three-way, especially, two hosts and a guest. What are we talking about today?
Yes, so this is the first episode in our new 3-part series, which is all about youth fitness. Something I as well am very passionate about, and you were probably one of the first people that I thought of to come on to join us for it. And particularly with Michelle, I would like to discuss strength and conditioning and gymnastics training for youth and how that benefits not only their physical capabilities in the present, but also going on to the future, but also how it affects their mental, their emotional, and everything in between that is not really talked about here in Hong Kong, or it's not really widely accepted. I think it's a little bit of a taboo kind of thing to enroll your kids into something so specific that's not necessarily sport, but strength and conditioning. So that's the route I want to go into.
Okay, for those that don't know you, which is not many people who are listening, what's your interest in this topic?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say recent anymore. I have a 2-year-old, a toddler, and I think I was very adamant on sending her into sport as soon as she could walk. So I enrolled her when she was 13 months into her first sports activities. And before that, we were doing gymnastics and stuff. And so I've seen a huge difference in her from being involved in these kinds of things compared to her peers who are the same age or even older, and they don't have the same social skills, emotional regulation skills, or even physical capabilities. And I think I'm such an advocate for it, but it's so hard to convince parents here, I find. And so I think that's my interest in it, of just making it something more well-known and spoken about.
Nice. Michelle, let's start with your journey in fitness, because I think I knew you before you even became, I'm pretty sure you weren't a mum when I first met you.
No, not a mum, was not married.
So tell us, what's your journey been?
My fitness journey started when I was young. I'm talking about as young as primary school, high school. I danced, Ed, and you knew this. I danced a lot. So there was not a single barbell or dumbbell in sight, really. Then you fast forward to my early 20s in Hong Kong. I was a bit of a gym junkie. So living for Les Mills, everything Les Mills, body jam, body attack, probably those step class, and a little bit of body pump. But to be very frank, I was there for social reasons and really didn't pay attention. And then 2012, the year of our wedding, there's always a reason, I decided to give CrossFit a go. And at first it was all about getting wedding dress ready. Then I got hooked. So I started slow, learning barbell movement. The skills are juicy, good stuff. And I started to see real changes, like my body transformed and my confidence shot up. And then showing up the gym really quickly became my daily non-negotiable. Yeah, so back then I was in the medical industry. I traveled a lot all over the world and across China with implantable interventional cardiovascular devices. So I was away 2 months of every month. And then when I became a mom, Izzy, I didn't want that travel heavy lifestyle anymore. And Asphodel was always my community. It was my second home. And one day I sat down with Chris and Vanessa, the owners of the gym, and discussing what might be next for me. And they suggested something a little closer to home. They suggested our gym, Asphodel. So yeah, here I am, part of the team, Asphodel team, and loving every minute of it.
And specifically within the Asphodel team, what do you do?
I lead the youth program and the ladies program alongside my amazing team.
And tell us about that. Tell us about the youth program in particular, because I remember, can I just share? I remember seeing Asphodel Kids. I think is that what it's called? Asphodel CrossFit Kids.
Yes.
I remember seeing that on Instagram, and we had dabbled with Coastal Kids, and we've dabbled in Coastal Kids like many, many times over the years. It's just never like stayed a fundamental part of our business. And the truth behind that is I'm not that passionate about it because I just don't have the skill. I've never invested in developing the skills to work with kids. I don't have kids yet. So it was just never a demographic that I felt like really drawn to. Believe it or not, like my first job was a kindergarten teacher. When I was at secondary school, I was a sports coach for primary school kids. And so I've done a lot of rugby coaching for youth. But despite through all that, it's just never been like a demographic that really resonates with me. And so we never stuck with it because we never really had the staff and the personnel who were really fired up about it. We've had like people come and go over the years who are, really fired up about it, created a great program, and then it kind of just like fell to the wayside. So not gonna lie, every time I see a gym start a kids program, I always question the motivation. I'm like, okay, why are you doing this? Is it going to stick? It'd be interesting to see how long the thing lasts. But you guys like genuinely have made this thing like a really big part of your business. And
So
all these years
successful.
later, yeah, you guys are crushing it. And we continually send people to you guys when they inquire about youth programs because we don't have it.
Thank you.
Because yeah, in my eyes, like, within the gym space, you guys are doing a great job. So my question back to this whole thing starting, where was the motivation behind this starting, and why you, like, why did you decide to be a part of this?
Well, I think Asphodel CrossFit Kids program really grew out of a mix of demand from our community, the adult community, and also from us, like our passion as coaches and parents. So as the coaches, started becoming parents, having kids, it just felt natural to want our kids to experience the same joy and benefits of CrossFit and fitness that we did. Yeah, it just felt very natural to want to share with the next generation. So I think that's why I became a mum, and I loved this sport. And when I had kids as young, like Ashton was 3, we talked about it. And then we started with like 3 kids, Ed. We started with 3 kids. And then it was me and Chris. And I think it's through word of mouth, we started with 1 class a week, open ages. If you're a child, you wanted to move, come to us.
All ages.
All ages.
Yeah.
At that time, it was just like, oh yeah, you're a member. Yeah, I have a kid. Yeah, I want him to get involved. Come and join us. It started like that. And then, like I said, like it just grew organically via word of mouth or friends of friends. And before we knew it, we had a full-blown kids program and a whole new generation of new little CrossFitters. Yeah, I think it's because I was a mum and I wanted my children to be involved in it. Our kids, like the coaches' kids, we were among the first participants. And I think, yeah, that's how it grew. There must be a reason why you're doing this. You got to be passionate about it, especially when it's your own kids.
And could you see yourself being a coach, like being the one driving this program?
No, I didn't know anything. I was a member, you know this. I was a paying member at Asphodel. But it was only, I think it's just trial and error and just see how it goes. I went and I did CrossFit Kids, the certification, and I took away from it the basics. And then you just adapt and you just make it your own. What suits the Asphodel community, what suits our culture.
Can you summarize, when you did the CrossFit Kids certification, what were like the big light bulb moments? What were the things you're like, yes, okay, that makes sense? And then what actually did you bring along into Asphodel Kids?
It was about fun. You need to make it fun for the kids. And I love the fact that we expose kids to so many different, a wide variety of movement patterns that a lot of the sports don't have here in Hong Kong or anywhere else, really. I love that. And I think just kids learning how to focus, pay attention to detail. Yeah, I think that's what and how to make the space a safe place for the kids when they come to learn.
What age do you start recommending people for their kids to come and train?
We started with, I think, 3 or 4, because that was my kids' age. But right now we have kids as young as 2.5 all the way to 17.
What are the key things that you're looking for in order to bring someone? So with Isla, like with mini sport, there were certain physical capabilities that she needed before they would let her come in, because
really?
most places say 2 years old, but again, me being that tiger mom was like, no, she can do it, like she's advanced, right?
Yeah.
And so they were looking, she came into a trial session and they were looking for a few key things that she could like pay attention, she could obviously walk properly, she could throw, she could catch. Like, are there any key things that you have to have people do before they come?
No, we have no prerequisites for kids.
Amazing.
Everyone is different. Every child is different with different abilities, and their development have different developmental stages. For 2.5 to 5.5, there are little chippers. We ask the parents to be there, or aunties. So it's with what do you call it? Accompanied.
Accompanied,
It's an accompanied class. And then for 6 to 9-year-olds, these are our age categories. So 6 to 9-year-olds, little lifters, they're on their own. 9 to 12, and then 13 to 17. No requirements. Everyone is different, and I have seen a lot of different, different abilities. Yeah.
And what are the main differences in goals for the 2-year-old group versus the 6-year-old group?
For the 2.5 and 5.5, I think I want them to have fun, to look forward to coming to class, to see friends, be happy, and to learn to make friends, to, how sometimes other activities, it's like circle time. Yeah, a little bit like that. Sit down and listen, pay attention to the coach. It's not always going to happen, especially for that age group. But, we balance a little bit with authority and fun. People come to us after school. We do have a Saturday class, and we want them to feel good and relax. It's been stressful. We start the class with 5 to 10 minutes of warm up, and it's usually like an icebreaker, like a fun, like a game or relay, obstacle course to get them moving, and ready to go. Then, and and then we go into the skills. Like we coach like 3 to 4 skills in the session. With the skills, obviously there's a lot of information. So we get them to sit down, eyes on you, la la la. For the young ones, we've recently adopted like 1, 2, eyes on you. I didn't even know this, but we have team members who used to be teachers, and in class, it's not like raising their voice. It's about 1, 2, eyes on you.
Still feeling that a little bit more enforcing, right?
Yeah, but they just know it naturally. I was really, really surprised. My colleagues and I were like, wow, this works. And they sit down, they pay attention. So I think our program from a very young age, it gets them to pay attention because they want to touch those plates or mini barbells or D-balls. They want to touch those things. And in order for them to touch, there are rules you have to abide by to make sure there's safety within the space and all that stuff. So there's no difference between Asian or white, students, kids. I feel like once you're in our space, the coaches dictate the energy. Yeah.
And how have you seen through the many years that you've been coaching that benefits kids as they grow older?
Oh, 100%. There's physical and mental and emotional benefits from coming to CrossFit Kids. 100%. Yeah.
Can you explain? Yeah, tell us.
Which one? Physical, mental?
All of it. Like,
all of it.
What have you seen personally develop of like people, not only, because we're going to get into the training and how that affects definitely, but while we're on the topic of like just following directions, being able to, like you said, if I say don't touch, don't fucking touch. You know, like how does that help kids as they grow?
Yeah. We give instructions. I feel like coming to our class, because we set the tone, they learn to listen. They learn to follow instructions, pay attention. I'm talking about the 6 and above. 2.5, I can't really guarantee that. But listen to them and just be present in the moment. Just be present in the moment, because if they want to have the goods, they need to give us a little bit of their attention. And I feel like that they will carry that forever, like throughout life, at school, in studies, making friends, just being present with your families. Yeah.
And have you seen a difference of kids who have grown with you and experienced that versus new kids who may have come in and have like never experienced that before?
Of course. I love that because we started early. We have kids who've been with us since they were 3 and now they're 11. Wow. So I know it's incredible. My phone is exploding with Asphodel Kids videos and photos, and you see them really young, unable to jump like 2 feet take off into a 12-inch box, and now they're jumping like 30-inch boxes, and they couldn't do air squat at the beginning, and now they can nail complex movements like clean and jerk and snatch.
Oh my God. Amazing.
Do you know, it's amazing to see that, right? To watch them grow in front of you. But with them in the class, and then once in a while we have newbies come in, they see that like, I want to do that, and they follow. I feel like monkey see, monkey do.
Mm.
And you are the product of your environment. I really feel, yeah. At the beginning, when they're all newbies, they're all like wild animals, like, they want to have fun and go crazy. We set the tone, and maybe not the first session, maybe not the second session, but after a while, they know what to expect in class. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Michelle, can I ask, with the little ones, you said, well, all the other sporting organizations, there's certain movement patterns that aren't being addressed. And so obviously that's a big part of what you guys are teaching. So at that really young age, what are you teaching? Like, are you teaching the perfect air squat? Or is it like, are you just incorporating play and fun and trying to get squatting type movements in there? Like, how early is it to start? How early, too early to actually start teaching like knees tracking toes, hips descend backwards, hips below power?
That they're going to shock you. They